Hey everyone, I'm back with a new video on Bayonetta. I'm sorry it took so long, but a lot has happened in my personal life. But I'm back, and today I'm taking a look at Bayo's fellow Umbra Witch, Jeanne. Let's get started with some background information about Jeanne. Where Bayonetta is a fun, confident, and snarky fighter, Jeanne is more serious, brutal, and aggressive. Jeanne was next in line to lead the Umbra Witches. However, during her final trial to fight a witch of her clan, angels had attacked. The witch she chose was Bayonetta, a forbidden choice as she was seen as an impure child being born of a Lumen Sage and Umbra Witch. But that's all in the past now. Let's get started with her weapons. All for One is Jeanne's main set of guns. They are a grayish purple color, and in Bayonetta 1 they are adorned with light pink feathers that come from angels that Jeanne has slain. The handgun feathers were long and flowing, and the heel gun's feathers were small and rigid. All for One was meant to be designed as a more complex design and appearance to contrast with Bayonetta's Scarborough Fair. They are based on parabellum pistols with heavily modified barrels because a normal barrel wouldn't be able to work well for hand-to-hand combat. All for One takes its name from the classic motto of the Three Musketeers, all for one, one for all. The guns are engraved with the original French motto, tous pour un pour tous, as well as the names of all the musketeers. The guns are named after the musketeers, D'Artagnan, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. In concept art, they are engraved with the original title of the book, Les Trois Mousquetaires. Garnet Roses are Jeanne's version of Onyx Roses. They're sawed-off shotguns. Contrary to the name, sawed-off shotguns do not have to be literally sawed off by a saw and simply refers to the short barrel. The description reads, shotguns containing the souls of fairies, known to collect the garnet roses that only bloom in Inferno. Each shell fired from the guns contains the curse of the fairies' trapped souls. This is exactly the same as the description of the Onyx Roses. Unlike the Onyx Roses, Garnet Roses have feathers hanging off the guns instead of small gold charms. I personally feel they are the most forgettable weapons in the game since I don't view the Onyx Roses any better and see them as just the worst Scarborough Fair, but you know, the stun from shotguns is good. I just don't use it. Jeanne's equivalent to Bayonetta's Shiraba, Angel Slayer, is a silver katana with green color accents and a gold hilt. It is most likely based on a Kyugunto. This becomes obvious looking at the hilt of the sword, which has a wraparound handguard that resembles European and American swords of the time. Angel Slayer seems to be her secondary weapon, right behind All for One, considering she uses it multiple times in the game. One could argue it's her main weapon. Good evidence for this is her appearance in the Wonderful 101, where she wields Angel Slayer instead of All for One. The description of Angel Slayer reads as follows. A katana born in the unknown depths of Inferno, brimming with mystery. One legend states that it is a twin sword to Shiraba. It is also said the sword's name comes from the story of a witch who loved the sword and was excommunicated for carrying out a futile war against the angels. While the sword did not contain the soul of a demon, the Angel Slayer displayed incredible power. However, the sword and the witch in whose hand it was held both found themselves in Inferno. Eventually, the blade passed into the hands of Rodin, who was able to make up for the previous deficiency. However, it remains unknown what sort of demon the smith was able to seal away in the historic blade. This description brings a direct connection between itself and Shiraba by revealing a legend claiming them to be twin blades. The name Angel Slayer also belongs to Jeanne's motorcycle. Jeanne certainly holds true to her duty as an Umbra Witch and takes it seriously, it seems. Angel Slayer also refers to the Gauntlet chapter at the end of Bayonetta. Jeanne's equivalent to Koshedra, Vritra is a green serpent whip with a brown handle. Its description goes, a possessed whip sealing away the soul of the ancient serpentine demon, Vritra. Summoning the power of the demon from a portal on the weapon's hilt, it can be used in the same manner as a normal whip. The name Vritra comes from Hinduism and refers to a Vedic serpent, dragon, or demon. It is the personification of drought, evil, and chaos. It is an Ashura, which if you remember from the first video, are demigods of Hinduism. Vritra has parallels in several mythologies. In Norse mythology, there is Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent who was the middle child of Loki and a giantess named Angerboda. In Greek mythology, there is Typhon, a serpentine giant. Typhon is one of the deadliest creatures in Greek mythology. In Slavic mythology, there is Veles, the god of earth, waters, livestock, and the underworld. Researchers believe that he is imagined to be a dragon or a serpent that devours livestock. Kali is Jeanne's version of Durga. Kali is a set of silver gauntlets with claws that command the power of fire or electricity. The description goes, the soul of Kali, said to be a demon with 1,000 arms, is imprisoned within these razor-sharp claws. From the portal at its hilt, the weapon can summon 2 types of arms, fire and lightning, to bear against enemies. Mentioned in the description as well as namesake, Kali is a Hindu goddess who is considered to be a master of death, time, and change. Kali, despite the way she is depicted and being the goddess of death and doomsday, she is seen as a strong mother figure and symbol of motherly love. She is typically represented in art as a fighter with a necklace of heads, a dress made of arms, wields a sword with blood, and sticking her tongue out. Kali has inspired popular culture plenty of times, from character designs to the names of weapons in video games. However, most famously is the logo for the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones needed a poster for their 1970 European tour, and they were unhappy with the designs from their then record company, Decca Records. So they looked for a design student to design the logo, and they found John Pash. Pash was on his final year of his Masters of Arts degree at the Royal College of Art in London. Mick Jagger suggested to the designer to use the tongue of Kali. Pash said the design concept for the tongue was to represent the band's anti-authoritarian attitude, mixed mouth, and the obvious sexual connotations. I designed it in such a way that it was easily reproduced and in a style I thought could stand the test of time. Karen is a pair of red ice skates and are John's version of Odette. The description for Karen goes, cursed to dance endlessly, Karen, banished to the icy hell of Cocytus, now finds her soul sealed within Rodin's handiwork. The blades of these skates are able to release incredible cold, giving those skilled in like techniques frightening power. However, those without the power to fight the curse will find themselves losing control of the skates and dancing endlessly until their death. Now obviously, Bayonetta was released in 2009, and the name Karen is not named after the term used to describe a vain, spoiled, or demanding woman whose name may or may not be Karen. Although that is some pretty funny foresight if true. It is instead named after a character from a fairy tale written by a Danish author, Hans Christian Andersen, called The Red Shoes. Karen is a peasant girl who is raised by a rich old lady and becomes a vain and spoiled girl. Oh, huh. Well, maybe back in 1845, Mr. Anderson knew what he was talking about. The character is named after the half-sister he hated, and the story is based on his father's interaction with an entitled customer. I guess the user on this wiki is 100% valid in this case. The story itself is pretty wild, and I'm just going to be summarizing it here. Karen is cursed to dance forever after she refuses to take off her brand new red dancing shoes, so she can wear regular black ones for church, so she ends up becoming obsessed with dancing to the point she misses the funeral of her adopted mother, so she can go dance instead. An angel ends up coming down and curses her to dance forever, even after death, so Karen can be a warning to vain children everywhere. So logically, she found an executioner and decided to get her feet chopped off. Problem solved, right? Well, when she does that, the shoes keep dancing even with her severed feet inside them. The executioner, being a nice guy, gives Karen a pair of wooden feet and crutches. Karen later decided to attend church so she can finally be seen by the congregation, but in come the red shoes with her amputated feet barring her way in by dancing in front of her. This happens again the next Sunday with Karen's feet busting a move in front of her, so she goes home and prays to God for help. The same angel who cursed her comes back and gives her mercy. Overcome with peace and joy, Karen's heart bursts. Literally, she dies and goes to heaven, and no one ever mentions the red shoes ever again. Man, I can't wait for the Disney version of this Anderson story. Colonel Slade is a set of dark pink grenade launchers with silver accents styled after Tonfas, and it's John's version of Lieutenant Colonel Kilgore. Its description is as follows. A grenade launcher containing the soul of Colonel Slade, a man who traded his eyesight to a demon to save his troops, only to be deceived by the hellish denizen and find himself consigned to Inferno. Each shot fired from the launcher's tube is filled with Colonel Slade's endless malice. The name of Colonel Slade comes from the character Lieutenant Colonel Frank Slade from the 1992 award-winning drama film Sense of a woman. The description mentions a man who traded his eyesight to a demon to save his troops. This mirrors Lieutenant Colonel Slade being a blind war veteran. Also, it brings up that each shot is filled with his endless malice, mirrors how in the movie, Lieutenant Colonel Slade is a bad-tempered man, at least in the beginning of the movie. Tang Lung is a pair of nunchucks made of what seems to be two gun barrels that are white and chrome, with a gold chain connecting them. Tang Lung is Jeanne's version of Sai Feng. Nunchucks or nunchaku have an unclear origin, however, a popular belief is that it was originally a short Southeast Asian flail. Its description matches Sai Feng's. Possessed by the soul of the fastest bird demon in all of Inferno, Tang Lung, these nunchaku spin at blazing speed, unleashing attacks so fast that there's not a god nor demon in existence able to see them coming. The only difference brings up an important distinction that Tang Lung could be faster, since Sai Feng's description only specifies a god can't see it, whereas Tang Lung cannot be seen by a god or a demon. The name Tang Lung comes from the name of the character Bruce Lee played in the 1972 Hong Kong martial arts action comedy film Way of the Dragon. The Chinese characters that appear when attacking come from the Bagua, which are the 8 fundamental principles of reality, which I already tried to pronounce in the first video and I feel embarrassed to try again. However, I will go over the parts of the nunchaku when referring to Tang Lung. The kusari is the chain which connects the two handles of some nunchaku. If Tang Lung was connected by a rope, it would be referred to as himo instead of kusari. It would also have a part called the ana, which refers to the hole on the kanto of each handle for the himo to pass through. Speaking of, the kanto is the top of each handle. This is the jikonbu, which refers to the upper area of the handle. The chukonbu refers to the center part of the handle. The kikonbu refers to the lower part of the handle. And finally we have the kante, which refers to the bottom of the handle. I'm sorry for all that if I mispronounce things. I will also note that while Bayonetta does a kiai at the end of her 5-punch combo, Jeanne does not do the same. Jeanne's version of Pillow Talk is named Bloody Moon, a scarlet lightsaber with a red cat keychain on the hilt. Similar to Angel Slayer, this is the signature weapon of the superheroine QDJ. The description reads, an enigmatic weapon crafted by the Umbra Witches. This weapon is the pinnacle of their moon-driven technology, and can emit various colored blades depending on the demon held within. Incognito as a mild-mannered high school teacher, Jeanne defends her innocent students at all costs, transforming into the superheroine QDJ. Her blood-red blade will cut the ribbon and start class on finer points of justice. Bring evil to justice, QDJ. End their reign with your deadly dynamic J. The name Bloody Moon most likely comes from a hunter's moon, which is the first full moon after the harvest moon. This is also referred to as a blood moon. Did I say moon enough for you? Anyway, QDJ is very likely a reference to the anime and manga series and the eponymous character, Cutie Honey. Outside of concept art, this is the only real-time off the top of my head that refers to Jeanne's life outside of an Umbra Witch. She is a high school teacher, and according to her concept art, she is most likely a history teacher.
It's a celebration, bitches.
Those were all of Jeanne's unique weapons from the first Bayonetta, and I highly recommend you buy Bayonetta 3 when it releases to support the series. But I guess if you're on this kind of video, you most likely were going to get it anyway. Well, join me after another 2 years when I talk about her weapons from Bayonetta 2. I'll try not to take that long, but thanks for watching, I'll see you later.